Okay, time to trim a foot on the on this base of the picture that I threw yesterday. I put it on the wheel. It's centered. You can see by it's going around. It's even on my finger. So since I know the foot is going to be basically at this level right here, what I like to do initially is to even it out. Okay, then I do what I call cheating. It's not really cheating, but it's just easier for me. And it's so much easier that it feels like I'm cheating somehow. So this is going to be the first part of the trimming, and I'm going to use the needle tool. I'm going to keep the foot wide. And I just let the needle tool dig down for a ways. Don't force it, just let it go on its own. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut off this part that's a little bit uneven. And then I'll be left with a very even part, which, look at that. Oops, almost. It's a very even part that is now centered on the wheel. So I don't have to go through any trimming where I'm trying to make it even. Now it is even. So that's what I call cheating. I actually will do the same thing on the inside of the bottom of the foot. So I'll okay. I'm looking at the silhouette to see if I like the shape of what's happening on the outside here. So instead of doing a lot of trimming with this at the top to get it to be even, I use my needle tool and it starts out even. So that's my cheating. And I like the foot to go in a little bit, so that when it's being glazed, I have something nice to hold on to. And this point right here, that kind of a sharp edge, that's a good place for the glaze to stop running if it's going to run. So it's a little bit of a preventative measure. Okay, now I'm going to do my cheating on the inside. So this is going to be determining how wide I want the foot to be. I'll make a line this way, and then I'll come back the opposite direction, and I'll cut out a ring. I'm able to do this with confidence because when I first started the base, I measured the bottom. So I know the bottom right here is about that thick. And the inside goes up just slightly. So I know I can do this without going through the bottom. Now let's see if this comes out like it usually will come out. Oh, looky there. I cheated again. Cheated means I have a nice starting spot. So I'm going to leave the middle of the bottom kind of the thickness that it is right now, because I know that's kind of my ending thickness that I want. So this would be actually part 3 of this 4-part series. Part 1 was throwing the base and doing shaping. Part 2 was forming the spout. Trimming the foot is part 3. And part 4 will be attaching this handle right here. So this is a handle that's going to go on here. Now I put whenever possible, I will put the handle on after the trimming, because if I put the handle on before trimming, the handle would be going around and I would have to dodge it. And if you don't dodge it one time and you hit the handle, it's a bad result. So it's a lot easier if you don't have to dodge it. So I'm trimming off the real sharp edge here. And before I get done, I'll actually kind of throw the foot a little bit, because the clay is still pliable enough that I can still do something to it. Although it does feel like it's firmed up a bit. Okay. So the bottom of this pot has a very slight dome, and then the foot comes up. And before I get done, I'll take my my metal rib and I'll compress the bottom, the outside of the bottom. That way the foot is compressed on the inside, which is already done, and on the outside here. I'll just get it a little bit wet. Okay, now I'm going to compress the foot. And maybe I'll do the outside here too. this is a case where the tool works better than my hands, so I use the tool. If my hands work better, that's what I would be using. So when I go in at 90 degrees like this, I'm actually scraping a little bit of clay off the surface. If I go at an angle like this, I'm smoothing. If I go like this, I'm scraping. And I'm bending the rib to sort of the shape of the pot at the bottom here. I'll use my fingernail here to emphasize the where the foot starts and the body of the pot ends. So if the glaze starts to run, it will tend to stop right at where that groove is. And I'll just clean it out a little bit. I'm almost done here. So I was holding it at 90 degrees, and that will scrape off a little bit of clay there. I just wanted it to go in a little bit. That'll make it easier to hold when I'm dipping it with one hand, because I like to dip the pots because it's easier to dip them than it is to paint them or anything else. Okay, I think I'm just about done here. Okay, so the part 4 will be attaching this handle. Of course, the handle will actually go on this way. And I threw this and I pulled the handle yesterday, but I had the handle under plastic, and I sealed the plastic really well because I wanted the handle to stay flexible. Okay, time to stop this video. This is video 3 of 4. And it's the throwing a 3-pound pitcher.